Glory to the great God of the heavens and the earth, for he purposed us down here with our destiny to walk, to lead, to guide, to mentor, to give strength to those out in this world that are so lost, and our destiny in which he can use us. Remember, the work of God is done through the will of man, our actions, who we are, our person. So through the courses of our life, we will be able to please him by suiting him and by suiting his need by our own very destiny. A lot of people, family, they get mad at their destiny. A lot of people will say that you don't have a destiny, but it's hard for people to realize that every single thing that they ever do in their lifetime, good or bad, has already been seen. You know what I'm saying? Was already spoken of before the foundations of this earth was ever laid. That's like saying to a person, for them to understand that God is eternal. That's hard for a lot of people to understand. Now, family, I think your father, he's gearing me up. He's been teaching me all of this stuff about unclean spirits, familiar spirits, and demons. I think one day, I know so much about them, family. I know one day I'm gonna write a book about them, because I teach about life and death, about darkness and goodness, family. You know what I'm saying? I teach all these things, and he done taught me so much. I think one day I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna just write a book. But I got my spiritual level up. I got my spiritual upgrade. I'll share it with you. I learned that not only do my familiar spirits, my unclean spirits that inhabit these people, they vessels, I learned, okay, sometimes they like white people, sometimes they like black people, and they are only dwell in those vessels. But I got a spiritual upgrade. I found out that some of my unclean spirits, they like to inhabit the young people, family. So I just want you to open up your eyes. I want you to open up your spiritual magnifying glass, and I want you to examine these things that you are going in through your life. I can't be played with for so long before I understand who is up over there pulling the puppet strings, family. It's only so long I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna be played with by anybody, you know what I'm saying, before I find out who is actually pulling the puppet strings. Now, I learned a long time ago, family, God, he's like the Nike commercial. He is, family. Just do it, family. Anytime your God comes to you and tell you something, just do it, family. Don't question it. Don't doubt it. Just do it. I learned, family, anytime God came to me and he told me to do something and I didn't do it, something bad happened to me every single time. He took out the time to be patient with me, to guide me, to show forth his compassion in my life, and to tell me about these things before they happen. And the ball was in my corner. It's the choice that he puts you in that you're going to have to make a decision, family. You're going to have to determine if you're going to go to the left or go to the right, or keep the straight path going forward. But your God, he told me in those times in my life, I just didn't listen to him, and I didn't want to do what he wanted me to do, and I paid for it. That's why I compare him to the great Nike slogan of the 90s, when the commercial was, just do it. That's how your God is. Just do it. Whatever he asks you, family, just do it. Now, the topic at hand, I hate the gaslighting that people put over my people. Here is, and I'm going to debunk all of these lies that they keep on gaslighting my people out here in the world. They say at one point in time that everybody was enslaved. That is a lie, family. When was the Germans enslaved? When were they? The people who stay in the Madagascar Islands, Madagascar, when was they enslaved? The people over in Iceland, when were they enslaved? The people who live in Canada, when were they enslaved? Family, if you go south of the border, it's a place called Mexico. When were they enslaved? So that's a lie. They sit up here and they tell us, well, you know, at one point in time, everybody was a slave. No. They're talking about systems that are currently in effect in the world right now, that ain't nothing changed. So when they sit up here and they tell you, well, you know, everybody was a slave, and there's still people being enslaved all the way to this day. No, they're talking about systems. Now, this woman in the background, she get paid. She ain't no slave. But they would call this modern day slavery. What part of this is slavery? This woman got a job. She can go home. Now, the only difference, this family, I can't even, family, this ain't even shadow slavery. You know what I'm saying? This ain't even shadow slavery. These people actually got a job. Now, they sitting up here working in horrible working conditions. Yes. They're being exploited. Yes. They're underpaid. Yes. But they are no shape, form of a fashion a slave, family. You gotta understand. What was done to your people here in the Americas in the early 16th century was a crime against humanity. Was nothing ever done like this ever in time. Why you say that for, Jehoshua? Why you say it wasn't done before? Because them people that was indentured slave, I can't even call them slave. Them people that was indentured servants, they kept their last names. They kept their language. They kept their history. They children wasn't indentured servants unless they had a debt that they had to pay off to whatever the crown was that was offering them protection of their land. So when you say like serfdom and words like that they use coming from a feudalism society, when they use words like that, all they talking about is a person getting paid doing a job. That's not slavery, family. What your people had to endure and chattel slavery is more than anybody in their history. They sit up here and tell us that everybody at one point was a slave. No, you're talking about peasants. You're talking about indentured servants. You're talking about the system of serfdom, that you actually had a king over your head and you had to show your representative to your crown. You had to show your backing to the crown. So it's not the same. I hate when they sit up here and they gaslight our people. They say, well, you know, modern day slavery is bad and this. No, you're talking about people that actually got a job that's underpaid. You're talking about people who's being exploited on the job. Then they go to indentured servants and they be like, that's slavery too. That was slave. No, it's not, family. They actually were paid, family. They were actually free to come and go as they please. It's not the same as what your people went through in this country. Every single thing, their heritage, their culture, their customs, their tradition, their religions, all of these things, their language, their history, all of these things was taken from them. So it's like you take a people, that's a people, then turn them into no people. That was not done to no other group of people on the face of this earth besides from so-called African American people. So my message for today is it's not the same, family. Don't let these people gaslight you with their lies. Oh, everybody in history at one point they used to be a slave. That's a lie, family. That is a lie, family, because you either conquered or you're the conqueror. You know what I'm saying? I can sit up here and I can break down slavery for you. It's a form of a debt that needs to be paid off. Your people didn't owe nothing to this country. We were captives of war. We were prisoners of war, captured. And then we had to suffer a form of slavery that was unlike in anything the world has ever seen in any recorded time. So, family, don't let them people gaslight you. Don't let them people lie to you. Indentured servitude is not the same as slavery, family. It is not, family. Serfdom, what they used to call, when back in the day, when they used to have, it's like a hired hand. They would sit up there and say, oh, the white people that we hired as hired hands, they were slaves. No, they wasn't. They was an actual hired hand, family. They got paid, family. They wasn't whipped, family. They wasn't oppressed by a whole nother race of people over their head in a foreign country, and to have to suffer all of the great things. And then just look at all the things that they did to us in slavery, family. That's inhumane, family. That's why it was labeled as a crime against humanity. Now, this has been your brother Jehoshua Israel here in the house that God has made. Maybe I need to go over what slavery is. Maybe I do need to do it all over again. But I would simply say it's a form of paying a debt. Not a whole lifetime, your whole lifetime being a prisoner. That's two different things, family. Somebody paying a debt, Somebody being in prison for the time that they was a child all the way until they died. They drew their last breath. That's not the same, family. Crime against humanity. Now, this has been your brother. Peace and blessings be upon your head. God's grace and his favor be on your feet. All glory be given to Yah.